Hi, my name is Jennifer Miles, and I am the host of today's presentation. I am the founder of Dream It, Build It, Live It. And the reason I call it Dream It, Build It, Live It is that to start a business, you have to have a dream first. You have to have some skill. You have to have an idea, something that you've been thinking about that you think you can turn into something that either will make money or make a difference. Then you have to build that. So you're coming up with the ideas of how to get the word out there. You have to create the product, you have to create the service, and put all that together and get the business started, from forming it to keeping track of your income and expenses, and all the management side that goes along with owning a business. And then you get to live it. You get to be your own boss. You get to be financially free. You get to have control of how your lifestyle is when you own your own business. So that's why I'm here. It's something that really excites me. I love to hear about others getting their own business started. I love to listen to their ideas and just help them work through those and get started. So anyway, let's get going. So actually, I am going to share my screen here. Okay. Give me just a moment. All right. So this webinar is called the 3 Key Ingredients to Starting Your Business. And the reason I chose these 3 is that after the last 23 years of being a business owner and 15 years of helping business owners get their businesses started, I answer their questions after they've started, help them fix problems, help them fix their, or help them manage or understand how to handle the business aspects of their business. I really feel that these are some like the top 3 things that you need to have when you get started. Okay. So the 3 items are choosing the business, choosing the right business entity. This will save you money in the long run. And I'll explain that. I'm really even in the short run. How to build your business from the ground up. So there are certain things, even though they're not necessarily financially related or have to do with bookkeeping. They're, as a business owner for 23 years, even though I'm in the financial side of things, because I've had to grow my own business, I've done the marketing. It really, for a good 23 years, I've had the ups and downs, and I've learned a lot. And quite honestly, in the last few years, I've really learned how to skyrocket my business with something that seems so simple, but anybody can implement this. And if you want to grow your business right away, this is key. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. And then the third thing is just staying organized. Being organized will literally, it'll reduce your frustration. It'll save you money because you won't miss out on things that you forgot about during the year. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in the key ingredient 3. So dream it, build it, live it. The critical ingredient is getting off your butt and doing something. It's as simple as that. A lot of people have ideas, but there are a few who decide to do something about them now. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. The true entrepreneur is a doer, not a dreamer. This was by an entrepreneur, Nolan Bushnell. I 100% subscribe to this. We have the ideas, we have the creativity. We just need that little push to say, hey, let's just do it. Get your feet wet, jump in. You're here because you want to get started off right. And that's important. That's going to save you time, money, and frustration. So glad you're here. A little bit about myself. My name is Jennifer Miles. I, aside from being an entrepreneur, I'm a mother of 5 sons and a wonderful husband who supports all of my business endeavors. I went to college initially to be an artist. My dream was to work for Disney, but I dropped out and started my family at a young age. When I went to work full-time, I realized I love finance and accounting and decided to complete my degree, my education in that field. Since then, I've completed my MBA in finance and accounting and have owned several businesses, including financial related businesses that are still up and running today. I have a strong desire to help others who are starting businesses or need help once they get started. It's just something that it really drives me. I love to see others succeed, and I love being able to share my advice and my experiences and the experiences of my clients over the last 15 years. So that's, something that I'm really, truly passionate about. So let's get started with key ingredient 1. The first key ingredient is choosing the correct business entity. Why is it so important to choose the correct entity? Several reasons. So you can, choose an entity that will save you money on taxes. It'll keep more profit in your pocket. You don't want to lose out on certain tax benefits that you might qualify for when you choose a certain entity. And also you might need to protect your personal assets. So that's how these entities are kind of laid out here. The main business entities are sole proprietor, LLC or LLP, which is a partnership, or a corporation. A sole proprietor, there's no special registration required. You work directly under your social security number and your name. You can choose to work under a business name, and that's a doing business as. So that's something you can do, and you register this yourself at the county clerk's office. You can choose to get a separate tax identification number. You would especially do this if you were to hire employees, and that's very simple to do, and I'll explain later how to do that. A limited liability company or partnership can be registered in any state that you choose. You do have to register this with the state. And this is something that, it can protect your assets, your personal assets. If you need that liability protection, you may or may not. Well, in the next slide, we'll talk a little more in depth about that. It's easy to transfer to other business owners. So an LLC can actually be transferred or sold to another owner. And if you have a partner, you would choose a limited liability partnership. And but really, the way that income taxes are handled with this, if you are a sole owner of an LLC, it's very, very similar to being a sole proprietor, because everything passes on. So an LLC sole owner, you would still do the tax return on your personal return. So it's really kind of like being a sole proprietor, except for the liability protection. The last one that we'll talk about today, the other main business entity, is a corporation. A corporation like an LLC can be registered in the state that you choose for tax advantages potentially. It's a legal entity of its own. So unlike an LLC, which files a tax return and passes it on to the owner, a corporation is like a person. It pays taxes. It files its own tax return no matter what. Even if only one person owns the corporation, it files its own tax return. And then any profit is then taxed to the owners, or the shareholders, they're called, of the corporation. This is often considered a form of double taxation. I don't see a lot of small business owners, even medium, kind of larger size business owners, choosing corporation as that entity. So especially getting started out, you probably won't be choosing a corporation. I have seen it happen for different purposes, but generally that's not something you start with out of the gate. But again, at least know what it is and what to do with it. And also it's easy to transfer ownership. You would basically sell your shares in the corporation, and that would transfer on to the new owner. So now that we know the three main types of business entities, how do you choose the specific entity that would work best in your situation? If you're a sole proprietor, you're the only person that owns it. You don't have a lot of profit yet. You might even have losses. You would benefit most just staying as a sole proprietor. The expense of the other types of entities isn't necessary. Once you start to make a profit, that's when you would start to consider the other entities. But getting started out, not a lot of profit, especially if it's not more than what your normal wage would be. So say you're a salon owner and you would normally make $40,000 working for someone else, but now you're working for yourself. If you're still making $40,000 after expenses, then I would suggest remaining as a sole proprietor. Once you're making over that, then the LLC or corporation would work actually in your favor. And I'll talk a little more about that in just a little bit. And also, if you're not worried about liability protection and you have business insurance, then the sole proprietor works. For a limited liability company or partnership, you would choose this if you want to protect your personal assets. If you want to take advantage of a state with lower income taxes and you expect to have a profit that's greater than a normal salary, there's a certain tax selection that we're going to talk about that in just a couple slides here, where if you're an LLC or LLP, you can take advantage of a special tax election that saves you over 15% on income taxes. So we'll talk a little about that. So an LLC, if you're making more than your normal wage, would be the one to choose in that respect. A corporation, you would choose this for similar reasons to an LLC, for liability protection. Losses, the only thing that losses are not carried forward or aren't passed on to the owner like they are with an LLC. So if you have a loss with an LLC, you can deduct other income on your tax return, on your personal tax return. You can lower your income. Where with a corporation, if you have a loss, you are not going to be able to lower your income on your personal tax return against other income that you might have. It would just offset future income in future years. So it'd be a loss that carries forward. And then if you had a profit in future years, it would reduce the profit in future years. So hopefully that is clear. If not, please feel free to reach out with questions on that. But again, this is a form of double taxation. So if you're tax shy, I would steer more towards the LLC or sole proprietor. So I won't read everything on these slides, but as a sole proprietor, you don't have to do anything. You literally just use your name, your social security number. If you're a contractor and someone wants to give you a 1099, again, you just give them your name, your address, and your social security number. If you want a DBA, you can do that as well. Then you would use your business name. And if you have an employer identification number, if you were to hire employees or just want an employer identification number, you don't have to have employees to have that. You can use this as your tax ID for your business, even if you're a sole proprietor. And it's the website is on there. So it's real simple to do. It's at the IRS. You do not need to pay for this. So just beware if you go online and search, sign up for the earned or do the application for the employer identification number. You do not have to pay anything. It's free through the IRS website. So make sure you go to irs.gov and not some of these others that kind of that look like they might be legit. They are legit, but they charge you to do the same thing that's free. So I would recommend just go to the irs.gov website to set up your employer identification number. For the LLC, you have to register this. You can do it with an online service. You can hire an attorney. It's roughly $300 to $500, typically, whether you do it yourself or hire an attorney. Actually, an attorney might cost more like $750. You really shouldn't have to pay more than that. I have seen higher. There's certain things that have to be done when you set up an LLC. You have to put in the newspaper for a couple of weeks and then send proof that you've done that. And then there's something you have to do every couple of years. So just be aware that there's some additional requirements, but nothing crazy. So, and then if you are the sole owner of the LLC, you would not have to prepare a limited liability company tax return. You would actually do that right on your personal tax return as if you were a sole proprietor. So that goes on your Schedule C of your personal tax return. So the LLC setup and then how it works is that it would just be treated almost like you're a sole proprietor. A corporation, the setup is same as the LLC. You register in the state. You can do it online or you can hire an attorney. But the corporation does file its own tax return and is separate from the personal tax return in that respect. So the special corporate, there's something called a S corporation. This is a special tax savings. If you have, so actually the S corp, it's not a tax, it's a tax election. I'm sorry. It is a tax election. It is not an actual business entity. So people get confused. They think they have to register as an S corporation. I mean, kind of yes, kind of no. So you either are an LLC or a corporation that can elect the S corporation tax benefit. So it's simply a tax election, not an actual entity. The tax election allows you to, you actually file an S Corp tax return then instead of an LLC or corporate return. But on this return, you get the benefit of taxes by one. So this is where the normal wage comes in. So if you are making 40,000, but now your profit has increased where you could get a normal salary of 40,000, but you're making 20,000 over that, you would save on self-employment tax. So you give yourself a normal wage, you pay yourself just like an employee. You're an employee of your own company, you pay your taxes, and then any profit over that, you would save on the self-employment tax. That's 15.3%. So that can really add up. So the biggest savings here on the S corporation is the self-employment tax when you're making over what would be a normal salary for that type of work if you were to go work for someone else. So S corporation, once people are making a profit, this is what most of my clients end up doing, just because it is beneficial, and there's some other deductions that you can take when you are an S corporation. So it can be pretty helpful. All right. So move on with that. If you have more questions, I didn't go into a ton of detail with that, but again, the biggest thing is just that you save on the self-employment tax. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me and I can go into that further with you. So the next key ingredient is building your business from the ground up. It's hard when you first get started. You don't have a lot of clients or customers potentially. You have questions about marketing online, what type is print, should I do a mailing, what's going to work best for you? So for the first couple of years require getting the word out about your business. There are various ways to market, that's print, events, and online. The quickest way to grow is through referrals, testimonials, and reviews. So I'll talk about that mostly. Just because no matter what you do or even how long you're in business, this is a key way to really exponentially grow your business. So I highly, highly encourage it, and I'll go into some ideas on how to do that. So again, just ways to market. We have print. Print can be very expensive. Expect 1 to 2% return potentially. I think maybe that number's gone down just a little bit. I started out 23 years ago with print advertising. And from there, I've moved on to online advertising. I tried a little print this year and it really was a waste of, I really shouldn't have wasted my money on the print. But just so you're aware, there is print. It can work for your business. It just depends. I'm a service related business. So for a product-based business, it could work for you. So I'm not saying it couldn't, but it is expensive. People don't really open the mail, junk gets thrown out. So just be aware of that. I think events are a great way to meet new people. So host an event. It's a great way to network. Networking is an excellent way to grow your business and meet new people and introduce them to what you do. You learn about what others do. You can collaborate. So network, and it just encourages you as a business owner, and they support you and you support them, and you guys share ideas. So networking is incredibly valuable for a lot of reasons, not just growing your business, but just growing how you manage your business even, or just giving you ideas on how to do that. You know, it can be time consuming when you're setting up an event, whether it's online or in person. With COVID, not a whole lot's in person, but I think more and more people are getting out to do that. But online is also a great way to network. So setting up the event, getting out the reminders, getting people to register, and then we're hoping that people attend. That is takes a little bit of time, but again, I think it's highly worth it. And then online is a great way to just grow awareness about your business. Definitely recommend that you get on Google Business Places right away. That's one of the first things that you should do when you open a new business. Google Business Places literally puts you on the map. So if you are local and someone can actually type in, bakery near me, and you'll pop up on the Google Maps or online in their search. So even if you don't have a website yet, get on Google Business Places. You can put products on there. You can actually put offers out there. You can have pictures on there. So Google Business Places, whether you're online or have a local brick and mortar business, Google Business Places is definitely, you want to be on the map with that. Having a Facebook page, social media is an excellent way to get the word out there. Your friends and your family may not even know what you do. So just sharing, something, event or something that you're, maybe a trade show you're doing, or just kind of talking about something that you learned in what business, the line of work that you do. But also, when people get to know what you do and how you do it, and even as clients become friends on Facebook, they will start to refer you. So someone says, hey, in my situation, hey, I need a tax preparer. I have clients that will tag me and say, hey, use Jennifer. She's great. I've worked with her so many years, whatever. They are, the referrals are key. We'll get to that in the next slide, but Facebook is a great way. It's a social media way to do that. There's also Instagram, and there are others out there. Facebook's just what I use, but social media in general is a great way to get referrals and get the information out there about what you do in a social way. And then having a website. I think most businesses today, even if it's just a simple website, they're easy to do on your own. I use GoDaddy. There's Wix. There's various different companies that offer do-it-yourself websites. I've done my own website forever. Like, I've never had anyone do my own website. I've actually gotten very good at it. I've had a lot of practice with it. I enjoy it, but not everybody enjoys it. So I would recommend, if it's not something that's your cup of tea, that might be something that you hire, or if you know somebody that knows what they're doing, get some help from them. And also, I'm considering offering it as a service too, just because I really do enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's that artist in me that gets to be creative. And but again, there's some ins and outs, like search engine optimization that are helpful in just getting you ranked with Google, so that when people search for whatever it is that you do, you'll rank higher on those Google postings. But a website is helpful as well. So here is the most important thing, most important takeaway when it comes to growing your business as soon as possible. This is literally what has exponentially grown my business year over year, I would say, for the past 5 years since I really implemented this. Prior to that, I would just do I started with print marketing, and it got me started. Then I kind of moved to referrals. So referrals, people will be like, oh, my friend needs help, or this or that. A little bit of Facebook. But when I really started reaching out and asking for referrals and asking for testimonials and asking for reviews and putting those on my social media and my website, my Google places, this is where my business literally just took off. I have a business that's virtual and brick and mortar. So people can meet with me in person, or they can meet with me virtually. I have most of my business clients, quite honestly, I have never met. And I might have a picture or know what they look like because it's either on their website, or I had a picture of their driver's license when I did their tax return. So today I find that business owners really are more, they're busy. They're doing their thing, and they're used to doing things online. So whether you're online though, or people want to meet with you, these are the 3 key things that will grow your business, and it'll grow quickly and exponentially. So referrals, just some suggestions. I would just request referrals whenever someone makes a purchase or uses your service. You want to make sure it's somebody that was happy with your service. But if they are, especially if they said, hey, thank you so much, that really made things simpler for me. Hey, would you mind just writing a quick, for referral, like, do you know anybody else? Who else do you know that could benefit from this service? And what I do, so I'm a tax preparer. So I send out a letter every year to my existing clients, and I put a little note in there that, hey, if you refer someone to me that uses my service, I'll give you XYZ discount or cash back or something like that. It's nothing big. It's really a small amount. But some people take advantage of that. I've had people that make the most money take advantage of it, and I've had people that make the least money not. So you just not take advantage. So you really don't know who is interested in that. But my business grows anyway through referrals, whether or not I give them a discount. I actually get a lot of new clients that then refer people to me that same year. So referrals are just an excellent way. If you provide really good service and you take care of your clients and your customers and go out of your way to make sure they're happy and you answer all their questions and are patient and just do all the follow-ups, you will get referrals. The next thing is testimonials. It's awesome if you can get a live testimonial. So I have a couple clients. One did a selfie testimonial and even edited it, which is amazing. So that's actually one of like my premier testimonials on my website. She's been working with me for a lot of years. She's a small business owner. So that is like just a really great testament to why someone would use my service. But also it helps someone relate, like, oh, is this the kind of service that I'm looking for, by listening to how she's used my service? What has it done for her? And if people relate, they're like, oh, okay, I want to work with this person because that's my situation too. So it also helps you get the right clients as well as helping them find the right service. And in this situation, sometimes I'll offer a discount or cash back for doing it. Testimonials, because especially if they're doing a video testimonial for me and they're editing, I actually, for what I do, I offer a free tax return because not a lot of people are willing to do that. And the time that it takes, it really shows that, okay, and it's not even that they're necessarily doing it for the money, but it's just my way of saying, hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, get a free tax return. Hey, who doesn't want that, right? And then reviews. Reviews are key. Keep your reviews fresh. Whenever someone purchases from you, whether it's a service or a product, ask for a review. Have them go on to, give them a link so it's easy for them. Send them an email follow up like, hey, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you are happy with the service. Would you be able to take a minute to just, here's a link to Google Places or to my Facebook review or Better Business Bureau or whatever you're affiliated with, where you can take reviews, and ask if they will give you that review. So I always have that when I reply to clients, like, hey, thank you for, working with me. I really enjoyed doing your tax return. Will you please leave me a review? And I'll have links to the different places. And I also, when I send out that letter annually at the beginning of the year, where they get a referral discount, I also offer, hey, if you'll go on and take a few minutes to give me a review, $10 off your tax return, because reviews are crucial. And again, I have maybe 10 people, not a lot of people take advantage of it, but people do. And to me, it's worth it. It's just like that little incentive, like, hey, if you would, please just take some time to do that, give me a review. And I try to split it up between Google Places, Facebook, Better Business Bureau. So that way I have them in multiple places, but also keep them fresh. And really, I find 5 to 10 reviews are satisfactory. I every tax year I get another 5 or so, 5 to 10. Just some people will actually ask to give me reviews, so I'll tell them like, well, okay, I haven't had one here in a while. I'll give them a link to Better Business Bureau. I'll give them a link to something else, so that I kind of spread it out, because fresh reviews are also very important. No one wants to see a review from 5 years ago or even 2 years ago. 2 weeks ago is amazing. So the most recent reviews are what people are really going to look at. They'll look at them all, but they'll especially look at what's recent, has anything changed? So I can't stress enough to grow your business. As soon as you start selling your service to your products, it's a little different with e-commerce, but even then, get reviews, get customer feedback. Hey, I'll give you 20% off your future purchase. Will you please leave a review? Because people read the reviews. This is how they choose who they want to work with and get an idea of, is it a good fit for them by listening to what other people have to say? They learn like, oh, okay, this is my situation too. Okay, this sounds like a good fit. So you're going to get the right clients and they're going to get the right service. So referrals, testimonials, and reviews are key on your website, your Facebook page, Google Places, wherever you have things on your advertising. This will grow your business exponentially. So the last key ingredient is just keeping organized. And I know it's boring, but the importance of bookkeeping is, it's one of the things that most people put off if they're not numbers people. or aren't used to tracking things like this, but be organized from the start. This will save you time, money, and headaches down the road. I promise you. Find a simple way to keep yourself organized that works for you. It doesn't have to be complicated. All right, so find something that's simple. So the importance of bookkeeping is it saves time. So when it comes to the end of the tax year, if you're trying to figure out like, oh my goodness, where are all my receipts? Oh, I got to add all these up. I don't remember what it was that I had. So you're spending all this time trying to go online and figure out for maybe a certain job that you did. Oh, wait, I think I bought stuff over here. It will save you time if you do this in real time. Maybe not daily, but either weekly, maybe even monthly. Like monthly's okay. I personally do it monthly. I don't have a lot of income and expenses, so I do mine monthly. For my clients, I do bookkeeping for clients. I do their bookkeeping typically monthly. There are some that I do check in weekly to see what's going on and do updates, but generally monthly suffices, especially because they're smaller business owners. But again, it will save you time. It's just the easiest to do it. Again, monthly works, weekly works, but something that you'll stick with. But if you understand the importance of it and why, I think that'll help you stick with it. It will save you headaches. So when it comes to tax time and you're trying to pull it all together, it's frustrating and it's a hassle, and it's just, hair pulling. It's just one of those things that it's just not fun. I have a client, so I have an example in here, who hadn't kept track of anything through the year. So, she really wasn't even sure where to begin. So when it came down to it, she had 6 years of returns to catch up on because she procrastinated because she wasn't sure what to do. She's not the only one. I have a lot of clients that come to me with years behind because they're like, I don't know, here are my bank statements, here are my receipts. I don't know what to do. I don't have the time. I don't know how to categorize. So they, they put them off, and so which leads to saving money. If you have all your deductions real time, when it comes down to it, you're not going to miss anything. You're going to know, you're going to have the true profit or net income after expenses. Where if you're missing expenses, you're going to pay income tax on money that you paid out to make that money. Don't pay taxes twice. Also it'll save you money because if you procrastinate and you put off doing your tax return, there are penalties involved with late filing. So keeping track of everything, keeping it simple, being ready at tax time, don't lose out on deductions, don't be late, don't have penalties. This will save you money in the long run. So there are just a few things that solutions that I think are kind of first come to mind that are probably the simplest. You have pen and paper. There's nothing wrong with just writing it down. Grab a piece of paper and have all your income on one sheet, maybe your expenses on another, and have the date. I would track the date, the customer, and the amount. If you want more detail, feel free to do more detail. For expenses, I would note the date, the amount, and the purchase of the expense and who the vendor was. So if it was Lowe's, it's July 1st, Lowe's, $20.30. Pipes for the plumbing job. So is it materials? Is it something for your office? Is it software? What is the purpose of the expense? So you can categorize it properly. Excel, really, it's just instead of on pen and paper, you can do it in Excel. If you're comfortable with Excel, which is a Microsoft program, you can put your income and expenses there. You can also download. Most banks that I've run into do allow a download called a CSV file. So you can actually import your transactions from the bank into Excel, and then you can sort them or take out ones that maybe are personal and have just the business expenses, and you can categorize them that way. So that's a great way too, is to import your expenses from income and expenses from your bank right into Excel. And then lastly, a lot of people choose online solutions. I personally use QuickBooks. My clients use QuickBooks. There are different versions. So the self-employed version is the least expensive. They go up in price a little bit from there. Typically though, you can get away with around $20 a month. You can invoice, you can track expenses and your income, you can link it to your bank account, which will pull it into QuickBooks for you. You don't have to manually type in anything. The only thing you have to do is manually categorize where it will go. But QuickBooks is kind of cool. It's intuitive where it actually creates rules. So it knows every time Lowe's comes in, oh, that's job supplies. And then you say, yep, that's correct. And then it pushes off into the right category in the software. There are other softwares. For instance, there's Bench, there's Expensify. So there are other, FreshBooks is one some of my clients use. So those are other softwares that you can use. So explore them. There are trial periods typically where you can test it out for free. A lot of them have apps. I know that QuickBooks Self-Employed has an app. It'll actually track your mileage too. So if that's something that you might need, that could also be beneficial for you. But find something that works for you, something that you're comfortable with and that you find easy to keep up with and actually do. Okay, so to wrap this up, these are the 3 key ingredients. There are other ingredients to starting a business, so it's not a be-all end-all list. I just think that these are the 3 that are really priority. We're just getting started and you're just getting into things. Get it started off right. Choose the right business entity. This can save you money. Your referrals, testimonials, and reviews are the fastest way to grow your business. It hands down. This is what will give you that boost that you need in sales. And then staying organized, it will save you time, money, and headaches in the long run. It will, in the short run too, really just, keeping track of it in a way that works for you is, something I definitely recommend. So I actually have an announcement. I'm currently putting together a new program. It's called the New Business Toolkit. Its release date is July 29th. And the New Business Toolkit's everything you need to get your business started right. So, it goes into much farther and much more in depth than what we discussed here today. It has all aspects really through the first year of starting your business. There are templates, there's live help. So weekly, you can get on a call with me, anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, depending on how many people are on the call, and ask your questions that come up throughout the week and get your answers, real time. So it's a real great way to stay connected when you're getting your business started and get those questions answered. So if you want to get on the wait list, the URL, it's dreamit-build-it-live.com/new-business-tool-kit-waitlist. So it's on the screen, but dreamit-build-it-live.com. It's the waitlist. So you'll want to have that URL as is, New Business Toolkit waitlist with the hyphens. But definitely would love to see you on that waitlist. Once you get started, starting your business, it can be a challenge, but don't let the questions and the frustration, the hassles keep you from being successful or keep you from getting started at all. All right. So we're going to stop here. And I really enjoyed sharing this with you. Again, it's just something I'm very excited about. I'm very passionate about helping others, do their, start their businesses and really grow. Again, I've been doing this for 23 years myself personally. I've been helping my own clients, whether they're just getting started or they're in the first year or even a couple years into it and they need to make some changes, and giving them that advice. I really walk them through. So definitely, I hope to see you in the future. If you have any questions, you can email me at jennifer@dreamit-build-it-live-it.com. All right. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.